Women, they can endure a lot more than men
Why do you feel like it's important for women to take time out?
because they simply need it.
Whatever drives you needs to be fueled. Within our retreats, not only do you get that chance to rest and rejuvenate, you actually get to create the connections that a lot of you, like myself, will be craving. The healing journey isn't always about a big dramatic. The thing that came to my mind was that Exorcist movie where that like big crazy demon comes out of you, and it doesn't have to be like that. And that's the point of difference for us that we're trying to create within our retreats, is that. Welcome to Krystal Rowe Impact, a space dedicated to empowering you to be the change that your bloodline has been waiting for. Join me and together, let's inspire change. Kia ora whanau, and welcome back to the Krystal Rowe Impact podcast. And I have my amazing husband here, TJ, joining me today as we talk about the importance of women and our time. And so we've actually created an amazing opportunity for women to get away and take time to rest, to rediscover themselves, and to find focus again in such a busy world. Now, today, I do want to share the importance of connection and sisterhood, but it's not really something that I know much about, if I'm going to be completely honest. And I'm sure that a lot of you can resonate when I say that friendships and sisterhoods and trust has been broken, and the lack of, what would you call it? Competition, not lack of, the presence of competition within women these days is so just full on, and it's uncomfortable. And I know when I grew up, I never really fitted in, but it was always something that I craved. I wanted to belong, and I wanted to have a certain group of friends that I grew up through primary school and high school and into adulthood, and I just don't have that. But what I want to create is a safe space for women to have that. So if this resonates with you, this is an episode for you. I'm going to ask my husband, why do you feel like it's important for women to take time out?
Because they simply need it. They have their own struggles. Personally, I feel women have, they can endure a lot more than men. That's my opinion. And that comes from watching my grandmother, watching my mother growing up, and I have 5 sisters also. And they can hold a lot of problems in, like their mental well-being. They can hold a lot in. But back to the question, why I think it's important is because our women run our homes, basically. Men have the job of protecting and providing, but if our woman ain't at home keeping that house on lock, that holding that safe space, there's only so much she can do. So they too need that time away to rest and recover.
Yeah, 100%. And I think too, when, society puts so much pressure on humans, both men and women, to be perfect and portray this perfect image and to have the house kept accordingly, and, like all of those things, which I'm the total opposite, aren't I, my love? Like I kind of...
Oh, you go all right, my love.
I try not to, for me, I prioritize a lot of my mental health.
Yeah.
And, by creating an intentional space for women to actually step outside of their normal day-to-day craziness and interrupting that stressful pattern that our nervous system is going in all the time, and actually allowing us to rest can be extremely productive.
Yeah.
It can be really, really productive. Can you remember a time where I seemed very stressed out, and then even if it was going and taking time for a massage and actually coming back
Yeah.
and
And that's what one thing I love. Like every time you've reached out and said, "Look, I need to go for a massage or I need to do something," I allow that. Like, yes, beautiful, because I know you work so hard and you do need some time for yourself.
yeah. But
But
it's not the norm though, is it?
no, it's not the norm, and I never used to be that sort of that man. Because growing up, my grandmother and my mum were so strong, like in the physical. I thought that's just how women are. That I never knew that
Yeah.
they too would have been going through some
Yeah. I
mental
think
problems.
when you're pushed to your limits, like a lot of us are, I know when I got to my breaking point and I was at the cafe before you, my love, I had to do everything. And I too ended up getting coping mechanisms, smoking, drinking. I couldn't go out or anything because I had nobody to help me with the kids, but it was just pressure everywhere I looked. And I actually remember getting to breaking point and going on a mini retreat. And it was a day retreat, and it was so unfamiliar, it was so strange, but it was so powerful as well. And it actually allowed me to refocus on what is important. And that's the power of the retreats that we are creating, both together, having that masculine and feminine energy that beautifully blends and creates an environment where people can not only heal, but they can just surrender. And I think that creating such a space that's different to everything else that's happening is at the moment. I think that we've learnt that the healing journey and the rest and recover journey isn't always about a big dramatic, what's the word?
Yeah.
Like the thing that came to my mind was that Exorcist movie where that like big like crazy demon comes out of you and all of that. Like it doesn't have to be like that. And that's the point of difference for us that we're trying to create within our retreats, is that people can come as they are with what they have and then leave with what they need.
Yeah.
And it's not something that is going to be invasive or make you too uncomfortable, but self-paced as well, which when we have to conform to a world with certain standards and certain pressures, we don't want to be that way when when women come to restore themselves. And also within our retreats, not only do you get that chance to rest and rejuvenate, you actually get to create the connections that a lot of you, like myself, will be craving. I know that for me, when life gets quite challenging or I'm feeling stressed out, I have a handful of women that I message and I say to them, oh, let's catch up. I need to catch up, or how are you going? And sometimes that's enough. And sometimes the catch up gets rescheduled, or sometimes that catch up ends up me having a massage or a coffee by myself. But it's the intention behind that. And that intention is connection. And that connection is what you get at our retreats. That connection is what actually can bring you home to yourself. And sometimes that's something that we've been longing for amongst the chaos of everyday life, whether it's motherhood, whether it's being the perfect wife, whether it's the businesswoman. Whatever drives you needs to be fueled. And that is going to be in the form of one of our amazing retreats. So if that resonates with you and you feel drawn to some time out for yourself, if you're drawn to a sisterhood connection, if you need to be in a safe space that you can share, that you can be seen and heard, where you can let your hair down, then our retreats are for you. They are a perfect blend of masculine and feminine. You get the best of both TJ and I, and it's such an intimate, personal experience that will allow you to bring the answers within yourself so that you can create and start living a life by design. So make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, and we will see you on the next episode.
Beautiful, my love. Who runs the world?
Girls.